There's apparently a cream cheese shortage, and so companies like Kraft, people who make, Philly cream cheese, are actually asking people to not buy as much cream cheese so that there's enough to go around for everybody. Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nakatomi Test Kitchen. I'm your host, Nakatomi. Today we're actually going to do, it's a Japanese recipe, but it's like a modern Japanese dessert recipe that is also super healthy. And so I was doing some research and I found this tofu-based faux cheesecake recipe, which is more like a cheesecake pudding, but it doesn't use any cream cheese at all. All it uses actually is soft tofu instead of the firm stuff that I use for like cooking and frying. This actually uses soft tofu and Greek yogurt, and that's all it is in the recipe, and then a little bit of gelatin and a couple of other like flavor ingredients. But I figured that it was a little timely to introduce that recipe, and also I was kind of craving something kind of light and creamy cheesy. So this kind of works out all around. So let's get started. In a blender, this is seriously like the easiest recipe. In a blender, you're going to add 1 cup of soft tofu, which turns out to be like half of a block that you buy that's prepackaged at the store. And you want to do this in a blender because you really want the texture to be smooth. To that, you're going to add 6 tablespoons of Greek yogurt. This is what I'm using right now is full fat, unflavored, unsweetened Oikos, but you can use any brand you like. You can actually use the flavored stuff if you want as well in this recipe. Personally, I don't mind the flavor of tofu, that little kind of bitterness that is in tofu. If you don't like that flavor, then I suggest you get like a flavored either vanilla or honey, or you can go wild, you can go blueberry, strawberry, whatever. You're going to add 1/8 of a cup of just water, just to kind of loosen things up. And then you're going to add 1 packet of gelatin. Ooh, powdery. And if you're watching your sugar, you want to use a sugar substitute. If you're not watching your sugar, you can totally just use 3 tablespoons of regular sugar or sugar substitute. I'm using Splenda, which is twice as sweet as table sugar, so I'm actually using 5 packets, which ends up being the same as roughly 3.5 tablespoons of regular sugar. If you're using a granulated sugar substitute like Lakanto or like erythritol or whatever these different new sugar substitutes. If it's granulated, then you could do a 1-to-1. So if it's 3 tablespoons of regular sugar, then you would do 3 tablespoons of a sugar substitute. And so we're going to put this all together, and then we're going to get a little loud. And we're going to blend this up. going to go ahead and scrape down the sides just in case there are some lumps. If you tried to do this with a fork, you'd end up with really lumpy, like a lumpy tofu mixture, which isn't going to be all that tasty later. Okay, we're going to take this mixture and add it to a bowl. See how luscious and creamy that turns out. Now, right now, if you tasted it, it would just taste a lot like Greek yogurt and tofu. This kind of tangy tofu. So, unless you're using a flavored yogurt, that is. If you're using a flavored yogurt, you would have less of that tofu scent. And what you're going to do is you're going to loosely cover this with plastic wrap and put this in the microwave for 1 minute. As always, I like to keep my plastic wrap in the fridge so it stays nice and cold, so it makes it easier to peel off. Once the minute is done, you're going to take it out. Now you'll notice that this isn't like boiling hot or anything like that. It's kind of lukewarm. It's all you wanted to do was kind of heat things through just a little bit and get that gelatin kind of combined with the tofu and Greek yogurt. Just to kill a little bit of that tofu bitterness, I'm going to add a splash of vanilla, and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And that's just to kind of up the kind of acidity that you kind of usually get with cheesecakes, which you already have a little bit of acidity in the Greek yogurt, but the lemon juice makes it a little bit more tangy. And this is also a great time to add additional flavors if you like. If you could actually buy like food flavoring. So if you want to get make like a maple flavor or a more honeyish flavor, you can add those flavorings here. This would be the perfect time for that. And once you're done stirring, so basically right now we've got tofu, Greek yogurt, gelatin, sweetener, vanilla, and lemon juice. And that is all that's in this, and a little bit of water. And then you're going to take 2 containers with lids. And then you're just going to distribute. This makes 2, so. One. This is such a great like high protein breakfast or high protein snack. It's good obviously because it's kind of a mock cheesecake. It's really good for desserts. But if you want to treat yourself for like a kind of a decadent cheesecake breakfast, this works for that too. You can see it's starting to gel up already. Have a little bit extra. You're just going to put the lid on. If you don't have lids, you can just use saran wrap. And this goes into the fridge for about an hour or two or overnight until the next morning if you want to have this for breakfast. So let me go ahead and pop that in. Let me clean all this up and I'll be right back to show you how to serve this on a plate. So it's been about an hour since we put these into the fridge. You can take a warm towel just to kind of loosen the gelatin from the sides, and also use a knife to kind of go around the edge. Hopefully it will come out in one piece. I'm not sure. If not, we can always do something deconstructed. I have some blackberries and raspberries that I cooked down into a syrup. I'm just going to put that onto a plate. Swirl it around just a little bit, just to make it look pretty. And then, see if this works. I think it's more stuck than I'd like it to be. So we're going to go ahead and kind of pry this off. And then have kind of it's kind of lumpy looking, but believe me, it tastes really, really good. We're going to go ahead and decorate the rest of this with berries. This is where like berries and things come in handy, right? Because you can kind of hide some of the imperfections. I think maybe this last one goes there. And there you have it. We have a lovely tofu and Greek yogurt mock cheesecake that is luscious, is super smooth. Have some with this sauce. It's creamy. It's very, very light, and it definitely doesn't taste like the heavy cheesecake you would get like at a commercial cheesecake place. But if you're craving cheesecake and you're being told by the cream cheese manufacturers to kind of take a break on the cream cheese for a moment. It's a really good substitute. Yeah. And it's super high in protein. It has no added sugar because we use the sugar substitute. Depending on the kind of Greek yogurt you use, it can be high fat and therefore kind of on the keto side. Or if you want to use like a non-fat or low fat yogurt, as long as you're sticking with the Greek stuff, that's like the super thick Greek stuff, then you kind of lean more into like low carb than keto. Either way, it's absolutely delicious. And what a great way to like treat yourself. Ooh, I want to have a berry, but I guess I can't get it. Super yummy. And also super easy to make. No oven required. Yeah, I hope you make this at home. And if you do, let me know. Let me know if the tofu flavor is a little bit too strong, or if you were able to figure out your workaround by using a flavored Greek yogurt. Thank you for watching another episode of Nakatomi Test Kitchen. I am your host, Kelly Nakatomi, and I will see you next time.